Good everyone, my name is Graphics. Today we are to assemble the diagram that is displayed in front of our screen, and that is an adjuster. Now we have two views that is given, which is the elevation and the plan, and we are told to assemble. Now we have two components, which is the adjusting arm and the base block, and they're just one component each. So we are to mount the adjusting arm on the base block. So we are to still assemble them in isometric. Now the first thing you have to do is for you to draw your inclined axis in 30-degree, right? So this is what I mean here. You place your instrument and you draw the vertical, right? And you also draw the horizontal also at an angle of what? 30-degree. Then I'll do here also at an angle of what? 30-degree. Now, having done that, the next thing you have to do is to get the entire length, the entire width, and the entire height. So I'll be able to bring out a box in which I can assemble my component there. So giving you a clear view of what we have is this, right? Now zooming it to give you what you should understand here is this. Now looking at it closely, I have the length, I'm starting with the elevation. The total length of the elevation here is 228. I'll be locating it at this axis here. So I'm locating it at this axis here. 200 and what? 28. So with this, I'm going to measure starting from 1. So from 1 to 23 is 220. Then 228 will be just here, right? That's the first thing I'll do. Then doing that, I'm going to take it up this way. You can see that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to get the width. Now let me show you what I mean by the width. Now looking at it closely, the width is only located at the plan, right? And that is what? That is 100. So to be at this side here, so the 100 will be located at this axis here. So I'm going to measure 100, starting from 0. Then I'm going to stop at 100 here. So this is the 100 here. And the half of 100 is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, is 50. That's what we have there. So I just measured the half down already. Now the next thing I'll do is the total height. The height of this figure is given as let's see, from here to this point here, you get the height from the elevation. So from here to here, given as 110. From here to the center here, you can see it's 110. Now from here to here is given as what? 30, because the radius is what? 30. So I'm measure 110 plus 30, that will be 140. So I'm going to measure what? 140. So let's see. The 140 I'll measure will be the height. So I'll use this to measure my 140, starting from 0, and I'll stop at 14. 140. So what we have here, that's the height of the figure. Now what I did at the base here, I'll do it at the top here. So I'll come here with my instruments, my set square and t-square. And I'm going to draw this to this axis. You can see that. So it's stopping here. And I'll bend it to this side also. I'll do the same thing here too, to this axis. So the base here that I have here, I'm going to project it upward here, this way. Stop here. You can see that. Now I need to close it up. From this point, I'll close it up to this point here. Then I'm going to come here also I'll close the other place up too. Should I again? So I'm going to close this other side up. Let me just take it forward a little bit so you see where I'm actually closing. So I'm going to close this point up. So I'll close here up. So everything is just like you are constructing your isometric. Now I've closed them up, right? So let's go back to the base. So at the base here, I have this from here. So we have brought out the box. So from this box that we have here now, we want to cover that figure in isometric. So let's have a view again, starting from the elevation. Now if you look closely, the entire height we said is 140. Now from here to this point here is given to be what? 60, right? So I'm going to measure 60 upward first of all. So let's measure the 60 upward and see how it goes. So measuring 60. So place it this way. And then measure 60. So once I measure 60, I'm going to do what I did here for everything with my axis, inclined axis. So place it this direction. I'm going to draw this way, faint line. Then I'll come here also. I'll draw this way too, faint line. Right? Now I should be able to close it up also. Just draw the line this way. So I'll stop here. Now if you look at this figure closely again, right? At the plan, let's start from the plan to see where this figure here is located. So from the plan, I'll get the center of 100, right? Which I'll now measure. Let's first of all get center of 100. I did at the beginning. So if you measure from this point, to here is given as 100, and the center is 50. Then I'll project it upward. So projecting it upward, I'm going to have this. There's the center there, right? So from the base here, if you look at it closely, from the height, I'm going to measure from the top. I will divide this into 30, 30, as in 20, 20, because it's given as 40. Let me show you. If you look very well, from the plan here, from the center to this point is 40. They will now have an extra 20, the thickness. So from this center to this line is what? Is 40. Right, from here to here is 20, from here to here is 20, so all together is 40. But from this line here to this thickness here, you see, it's given as what? 20. So that's what I want to do now. So let's do that and see how it goes. So let me do that and see how it goes. So I'll take my meter rule from the top here. Let me take 4 as a center, the reference point. So I'll measure 20 to the left. This is 0, then 20 to the left, to the right, right, and also 0, 10, 20 to the left, right? Then another extra 20, like I showed you. Another extra 20. This is from here to 20. You can see that. Now I'll just use my line rule, my ruler, and I'll just draw this. I'll come at every point here. I'll draw this. Then here also, I'll draw this. Then here also, I'll draw this. Now if you look at this closely, now from the plan, let's see, from the elevation, we're going to know that from here, you discover that the length of this is not given here, but it is given here. How would you know that? The radius from here to here is 30, automatically from here to here is also what? 30, so altogether is 60. So I'll measure a length of what 60 on my line I drew. So let's do that. A length of 60. So if I take my meter rule, I'm going to measure length of 60 from here. So this is 60, right? So that's 60 I measure. I'll use my meter rule, and then I'm going to just close it up, my faint line. I see that I've closed it up. Then I'll bring it down a little bit this way. Why am I bringing it down? Since I want to bring out an arc, so you need a perfect square to bring out an arc in isometric. So I'll just place my compass here to this point, which is 60, right? Then I'll go and strike it down. So at this point here, my 64 falls around that point here. So let's do that and see. That is where it will stop. So I'll complete my box from there. So what is 60? This is 0.60, right? I'll do it here too. 0.60. Do it for all of them. So I'll just close them up. This is closing up. And this is closing up. So that's what we have. But, so that is where I want to carve out my circle from. So to make our work more easier. To make the work more easier. So what are those two boxes? You can see the two boxes here. We've brought them out, right? So what we'll do is we want to bring out the shape out. What I'll do, what shape? This shape. This shape here. So I'm bringing out this arc out. So what we'll do is I'll follow the principle of constructing isometric circle in isometric. So I'll just take my meter rule. Look at what I want to do. I'm going to take my meter rule. Let me give you a clear view of what I want to do. Then I will join from here to this point as the longest diagonal, right? And I'll get the center of the 60, which is 30. So from here to here, this is the 60 here, which is 30. This point. So this is 30, the center. Then I'm going to close it up here. So where they meet is actually the center. So I'll draw my line this way. So this is the center here. So from this point here where it meets, I'll draw a diagonal that will touch here. And also I'll repeat the same thing here. So I'm getting this and this. So this is how I'll carve out my circle. From here, I'll place it here. I'll draw an arc, right? Then from here, I'll draw another arc also, but the arc will be touching this point here. That again. can see that. Now I will now roll it from that point. I'll roll it downward from here. I'll roll it downward to touch here. Right? Then from here, I'll take this point also, draw a straight line. So this will also be touching here. Now the first one, right? So I'm going to do the same thing for the other aspect. So this is what I'm actually bringing out. I brought this out, but my plan is telling me that it is not touching this edge here. My plan is telling me that it is not what? It is not touching this outside edge, it's touching inside. That's what the plan is telling me. So how many of them I have? How many of these I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll construct them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, following the same principle. But to make the work more easier, I will just sort of repeating what I'm repeating. I'll just draw an inclined line this way. Then I'll transfer my points. So this is what I'll do. To reduce the lines I have. From this point here, I'll get one center point. From the next point here also, I get another center point. Then from here, I have this, right? From here also, I have this. Here also, I have this. I'm just repeating it. You can just repeat it again, but we have reduced the amount of line we have. That's why I'm transferring those points. So I'll just take my compass, place at this end in here, right? Let me show you. Place end in here. Take it to this point to mark here. Then you trace it there, right? Trace it here. You see that? Then you come here also. You place it here. And you just stop here. You can see that. So I'll just join this point to this point. Now this is what we have here. So the same thing, I'm going to bring this downward here to touch here. You can see that? Now I'm going to do the same thing for this also. Instead of me repeating this, I'll just draw another diagonal here to make my work easier and faster. See again. I'm going to transfer the points. Diagonal, this is a point here. I'll move my set square on my meter on my t square to that point. I'll mark. I'll come to the next point also, which is this. Place it here and I'll go and mark here also. Right? Then this point here, I'll mark it here. This point here, which is this, I'll mark it here. Then the other one too, which is this or this, I'll mark it here. So with the help of that, I'll repeat the same process. So let's come. I'll take my compass, place it at this end here, where this line and this line meet. I'll take it to this point I mark to get my other arc like this. You can see that? I'll place it here also. And I'm going to close it up from here to this point here. So I'm going to use the front line this way. I have my reason why I still use the front line. Because just put the front line first, like this. We'll come back to it. Now, I'll roll it down. I'm going to what? I'm going to roll it down. Straight ahead. From that point, I'll roll it down to stop here. Then I'll still wait here because there's a component I'm going to adjust. So I'll do the same thing I did here, I'll do it behind also. So take your meter rule, draw a diagonal to touch here. Then you transfer the points also. So I want to transfer those points. First of all, the center to the center, the center to the center, the edge, this edge that I measured from here, this is this here, I will mark here. This top also, I'm going to mark it here, right? And I'll just take my compass, I'll place it at the end here where this line and this line meet. I'll place it at this point. Now I'm going to draw the arc that I want to draw, right? So let's do that and see. So I'll do that. And from this point here, I'll close it up to stop here. So I'll close the point up with sort of a width because of just close it up downward, straight ahead. Just bring this down. You see that? So now I want to start. We've successfully drawn out this. We've drawn out this. You can try to even close it up if I want to. Try to close it up if I want to. So just close it up if I want to. Now the next thing is for you to put the adjuster. What's the adjuster? The adjusting hand. You want to put what? The adjusting hand. This is what we're trying to put here. The adjusting what? Adjusting arm. So if I want to put that, I'll start. This center here is the center here, right? I have a radius of 10. How do you know? Both of them have the radius of 10. So this is what I'm going to put in here. So I'll start. From that center, I'm going to measure, if you look at what I have here, I'll measure 16 up and 16 down. So let's do that first. 16 up and 16 down. So let's come there and do that. So I'll start from here. Since I have a clearer view here, this is my center here, right? This is my center here. Let me just draw a horizontal line and I'll draw the vertical line. So I'm going to place it, measure 16 up and 16 down. So with the help of my meter rule, I'll measure 16 up and down. This is 10 and this is what 16 here. So I measure 16 up and 16 down, right? So if I do that, I'll just take my meter rule, my set square, I'll just draw an horizontal line this way to show that I need this line. I'll come here also, I'll do the same thing here too. I'll draw a horizontal line to here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, if you look closely what we have here, let's see. After I've measured the 16 up, 16 down, then I'll measure from the center 34 to the right and 22 to the left. So let's do that. 34 to the right and what? 22 to the left. So if I place it this way from the center line here, I'll measure 22 to the left. This is 22 here. Then 34 to the right. And this is what? 34 here. From those points, I'll make them form a box. From here to this point, forming the box. These 2 points here is important. Then from the other 22 also, it is also forming a box. You can see that? So from here, I'm going to draw a line from this point where they meet. So taking from this point where they meet here, I'll draw a line that will come touch here. Similarly, I'll draw another line from here that will come touch here because it's not going through the figure. Then similarly from the 34 also, I'll draw another line that will come also. Now let's measure the distance from here to here, which is 40. So measure the 40. It's already there. Let me just measure it. 40 to this 40 here. So it's stopping here. How did I get the 40? You might be wondering. The 40 is from here. This is from here to here is 40. So this point you're seeing here is this point we have here. So I measure the 40. This is where the 40 is. And I'll take it down a little bit, faint line. Take it down here. So I'll connect it to the other one here. Connect it to the other one here. So this is where it meets this. So from that point, we have, look at what we have here from that point. We have the thickness of here to here. From this point to this point, after the 40, we have what? We have 60. Look at it closely. We have what? We have 60. This is 60 here. So I'll measure my 60 on that length there. So let's go there and see. So from here, the center, I'll get the center line. Now this is my center line coming from below here. Here also is a center line also, right? So I'll connect it to this. So where it touches, where the center line from here touches this figure, from here to here we know it is what? It is 40, right? From here to here it's 40. So where the center line touches that figure, I'm going to measure 60 to the left, or 40 minus 60 is 20, right? So I will extend here. I will extend here like this. Then I'll measure my 20. So from here, I'll measure 20 in this direction. And from here, I'll measure 20 in this direction. Right? So this is what we have. So what I will just do is, I will use my meter rule. I'll take it from here to here. And also, I'm going to take it from here to here. Then, I'll take it backward. And I'll take it backward to stop here. This will go from here. So stop there. This will go from here to this point here. Stop here. Right? And this two is inside the figure, so it won't go out. So I'll connect here from here too. Touch here. Then you also touch here. Close here up to touch here. Now I can now use my compass, then complete this. Now look at this. So I'll use my compass to complete this. So you will be connected to this. Then this will be thickened from here to this point here. So let's see what I see. And the other one from here. So you stop in here, right? So I'll just take this in from here. I'll take it in from here. and I'll stop here. You can see that. Then we'll move forward. Now there's a circle here, and the radius of that circle is given to be um radius 10, right? This circle here. So I'll take my meter rule and I'll measure 10. This is 10. So I'll measure up and down. 10 up, 10 left, 10 down, and 10 right. So I'll use it to form my box this way. So this is what I have here. So in doing what I want to do here, I'll be having this, which is going this way. Now I'll put my circle here. So I can easily use my French curve. If I have the diameter of my French curve, this is what I will do. So I can just come and take my French curve. I have the one that has 20 here, right? So I'll place it and see the one that fit into this box. This is how to use it. This cannot fit in. This is fitting in. This is not really fitting in, then I'll check the next one. This is the one that can actually fit in. So I'll just use this and create my circle, ensure that it fits into the box carefully, right? So if I do that, I'm going to be having this. So you can see that. So the next thing I'll be doing here is that this I'm drawing, I will extend it with my faint line. With faint line first of all, I'm going to extend it this way. And I'll extend this one also this way. Now what is the length of that? The length of that is given here. And if you look closely from the adjuster here, from this point here, which is this point here, right? The length is what? 100. The first one is what? 100, right? That is where this will stop. So I'm going to measure 100 from there. So with the help of my meter rule, I will measure 100. So from 0 to 100 is what? 100. Then I'll close it up. So in closing it up, this way, I'll be having this. That's the 100 from that point. So, and doing that 100 plus 40, there's another extra 40 again, and I'll add the extra 40 to it. So just like we're having 140. So from here to this point is 140. Right? I'll also close up that point too. So closing it up. Now the next thing I'm going to do is that the thickness here is given to be, let's see, for the thickness, we have it to be, this is 40, then the thickness here is given as what? Is given as 16. Because if you look at this, this is the center point here. Let me show you. This is the center point here, right? From here to here is 16. Automatically, it traces it down, is also what? 16. So the thickness is what? 16. So I'm going to take my meter rule, my set square and 2 square from that ending. I'll just take it down this way and I'll measure 16. So this is 16 from 0 to this point here is 16. And I'll close it up this way, like this. So I'll bring where this line, talking about this line I measured, is coming here. So I'll bring this down with my thick line because I'm sure where it's heading to. Then I'll take it in, just up here. And I'll bring it down too, from here downward. So now, and I'll take it from this point to touch here. From this point to touch here, right? So from this point, I'll taking it from here straight down to this point, and from here straight down to this point. I see that, and close it up. This is the thickness that we have here. This is the thickness that we have. Now, if you look closely, there are some boxes in between, right? So each of those boxes is 40 millimeter apart from the center. So from here, I'll just draw a line. Get the center of this. From here to here, you get the center, and that is 40. You can see, and 20 will be the center. So from that line 20, I'm going to draw an horizontal line, as in a center line this way. Let's say this is my center line. So the next step is for we to get this shape. This is the plan here, and this is the elevation. Now to get this shape that we have here. So I'll start measuring it from the end, which is this end we have on our diagram. So first of all, measure 80, then 40, then 40 into 3 places. So let's do that and see. So the end I'm telling you about, this end is this end here. Start taking. So I'll start measuring it this way, because the entire length there is given as 160 plus 40, and that is what? That is 200, right? So we say that from here to here is 200. From this point here to this point here is the 200 here, right? So I'll start. So I'll measure 200 from that point. So let me start from here and measure the 200. So from here, I'm going to measure another 80 to it, right? So let me do it here also, because this is the center here. So I'll measure another 200. This from here to 21 is 200. It means I'm adding extra 80 to it. So from that point, from this point here, that I'm adding 80. So this is what we'll now do. So this is where my 200 ends, because from my line here is given to be what? From this point here to here is 160, then extra 40, making it what? 200. So we're doing. So let's do that and see. Now I'll start 40 each. So if I take this guy here, first of all I'll start from 0. I'll measure 80 first. So this is where 80 stops. So if I measure my 80 there, I'm going to rule horizontal line this, as in a line to form my cross here. Then I'll come again. I'll measure 40 this time. So this is where 40 is again. Then on that point of 40, I'll draw another line again, so that I won't make any mistake. Then another 40 again on that point. So this is 40. I'll measure another straight line there again, this way. Then another 40. There's another 40 here. So I'll just draw that line there too. You can see that? So we'll start. The line here, the thickness here is a square and it's 20. So I'll measure 10, 10, 10 each round. So with my help of my meter rule, I'll measure 10. So at this point, at the center here, I'll mark 10, 10, 10, 10. At this point also, I'll go to the next one also, and I'll do the same thing. I'll place it here. I'll mark 10, 10, 10, 10, right? Let me just complete it to give me my box first. Then I'll continue to this, 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 this. So close it up. So from here to here, I'll take in it. From here to here, I'll take in it. I'll come here to do the same thing. I'll come here to do the same thing. Here also, taking it. Here also, taking it. Here also, taking it. Now I'll come to the next one again, which is this. I'll mark 10, 10 also around. So 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, and 10 here. So I'm going to do the same thing too. I might just close here. Come here too. I'll close here. Then on this point, close the box. On this point, close the box. Then we are in this, and this. So bother that box out. So it means that I'll take in from here straight down to this point. Then I'm going to the next thing I'll do is to bring all the shape down. Right? So what will I do? I'm going to measure the thickness is 16. Right, the 16 here. So I'll just take my meter rule, place it this way, which is the 16. I can come here and I'm going to mark down here. I'll come here, I'll mark down here, I'll come here, I'll mark down here. Right? So when I bring my line down this way, watch and see what I'm doing. To stop here, then I'm going to close it up here. So I'm going to close it up here. So I'll come here also. I'll do the same thing too. I'm going to close it up here. I'm going to close it up here. From here too, I'll do the same thing too. Close it up. And also close it up. From here also, I'll close it up. Now, I've buttered that. Now the next thing is I would have easily just covered here, right? But if you look at this that we have here, it is not really covered from the plan. This is not covered. Means that from the center, I'll measure 18, right here, and I'll measure 26 here. So I'll measure 9, 9, and what? 13, 13 here. So let's do that first. 9, 9, and 13, 13. So this is my 9 from here to this point. I said I'm going to measure. I'll measure 9, 9 here. Then what? 13, 13 here. So let me measure the 9 here. So this is 9 here. I'll place it here. I'll measure 9, 9. Then go to 13. Then I'm going to measure this 13 here, right? So I'll measure 13, 13. So connect them together. Connect this to this point. Connect this to this point. Right, then close it up here. Can see that? Then I can now close here up. Can now close, bring it down a little bit. Here, faint line. And we know it is what? Also 16. So I can just, instead of using my meter rule, just measure this distance from here to here. I'll come here and I'll mark here. Right? So at that point, to help me, I'll just rule here this way. Then this guy will be coming down here. So from that point, I'm going to connect this to this point. Oh, so I'll close it up too. That again. So we've drawn this out, right? So the next thing we are going to do, if you look at the shape here, we've gotten out this shape. This shape, which is this shape here, and this is what we have here. Now is to complete the base. Now if you notice that you measure a height of 34 here, you measure it here. So let me measure the height of 34. So I'll do that now. Height of 34. This is 34 here. You can measure from here 34. And you connect them together with your just faint line this way. Faint line this way. Right? Then you can really close here up a little bit like this. What that line is telling us here, if you look at it closely, it's telling us that what it is hidden line that we're having there. The hidden line means there's a true in, right? So the thickness of that true, let's see. I'm going to measure 72 to that point, right? So that is 72, so it means 36 each. So if I place at the center here and I measure 36 each, let's put it this way. I'll measure with my compass. I'll measure 36. This is 36 here, right? And I'll place it here and I'll mark this and this. So I'll take it up with my meter rule. My set square and t-square, this will come up this way. And this will come up this way too. Right? This will come up this way too. Then I'm going to close it up this way. And I'll close it up too this way. And I'll close it this way. And this will be going in. Okay, so this will be going in from here to here. Right? And this will continue moving from this point straight down to here. From here down to this point here. That's what we'll do. And this is going to move up to this point here. To this point here. And this also to this point here. So we move it there. Stop here. And this will come here. Stop here. This also. Let us cover all. Then this. Right? Then this. You can see that? Now we've done that aspect all. So the next thing is, if you look at this closely, we're almost there. The last touch here is there's a circular figure here, right? So that circular figure is the circular figure you're seeing is so to get that point, you're going to measure. I want to get the center point here first of all. So I'm going to measure 40 from behind here. First of all, let me get the center here. This center here, I will extend it to the help of my t square and z square. I'm going to extend it from here straight down to this point. Straight downward to this point for my fence line. Right? So I'm going to measure um 40 here in, then I'll now measure 79. So let's measure 40 first. So the 40 I'm going to measure from here. So the 40 I'll measure will be from here. This is the 40. So after the 40, then I'll measure 79. This is 79. Now, if you're wondering, which 79 am I really talking about? Which is this 79 here. But if you look closely, from here to here is what 79. So from this center, after you measured 40, you measure 79. Then what? You now get a radius of, you are given a radius of the circle here to be what? 12. So at that 79, I will draw a line this way. Right? Draw a cross there. You can see that. I'll come here also. I'll draw another cross here also. So I'll measure a radius of 12 on my meter rule. Radius of 12 on my meter rule. This way. So this is 10. This is 12 here. Right? And I'll place it here. I'll mark to the left and to the right. I'll come here also. I'm going to mark to the left and to the right. I'll also mark it to form a box. So form a box here and here. To come here also to mark here and what? And here. And if I do that, I'll make it form a box. So this is box here, faint line, box here. So I will come here also. I'll measure box here. I also measure what? Another box here. So close it up. So in closing it up, I will have this, and I'm going to have this. I'll come here also. I will have this, and I'm going to have this too. You are taking. Now since I have this, I might not stress myself. I'm talking about 12. So my meter rule on my French curve, I can bring my French curve here and look for the one that will size in this box. So this is sizing in. Yes, this is sizing in. Right? So I just only need a semicircle from here to this point. It's sizing in. Right? That's what we have. I'll come here also. I'll do the same thing too. This is also sizing in. Right? So when I'm doing that, I'll only just do for the back one here this way to not go through that figure. You can see that. So in doing that, I'll just use my t square and z square. I'll just connect this to this. Then I'll come here also. I'm going to connect this straight down to this. They're taken. So this is what we have. I'll close it up here. I'll close it up here. And what else against remaining? Then here also, yep. I can just bring this. This line is just from here to here. So this will just come down. It will come down from here this way. Right? Now what else again are we looking for? Now we successfully reproduce the figure that we are asked to do. And this is what we call an adjuster. There's still one more thing we have to do here at this point. At this point, to show that this is going in, and the thickness of that we have there is given to be, let's see, the thickness we have there is given to be 34 minus 60. 34 minus 60 will give us 28, right? Give us 26, right? So I'm going to measure 26 from here. From this point here, I'll measure 26 from this point. This is 10, 20, 26, somewhere around here. Right? So I'll just draw my line that will go in there. Let's draw this thing. So this is what we just have. And I can decide from that point to draw my horizontal line this way. Right? Then I can come here and mark this point. So this is the ending here. Mark here and mark here. So just get my line completely this way. Close here up this way. Right? So I can just from here draw my line using my French curve with the same measurement I used for this. I use this for this yet, so I'll come here and I can actually post it here, so you can see that. Alright, so let me just do this. The one has to be very careful. So let's come here and so I can just like that. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.